I am so sorry, Year 2, but I have had an action-packed morning. So, firstly, this morning at 6 a.m, my alarm began to wail loudly. Then I leapt out of bed and I dashed downstairs. I very quickly rummaged through all of my cupboards, scouring the entire kitchen for the last box of Frosties. Once I found those delicious, delectable Frosties, I poured them into a gigantic bowl. Then I devoured the bowl within a matter of seconds. Next, I skipped into the bathroom and had a very refreshing shower. Then I threw on my clothes and I sprinted into the office because before long it was time for our meeting to start. I flipped open my laptop and I began to type frantically and furiously as I pored over the screen looking for the Zoom icon. Did you notice, Year 2, that in my recount of this morning's events, I used a particular type of word again and again? What type of word was I attempting to use repeatedly? Yes, well done. Powerful verbs. But what are powerful verbs? Now, I know that you know that I know that you know what powerful verbs are because we've used them so many times in our writing. Yes, well done. They are the opposite of boring verbs. I wonder if you can remember any of my sayings about powerful verbs, or rather, about the boring verbs. Most recently, we discussed said, and we know that said is dead fantastic. It's so boring, we're not going to use it. Right, how about went? Went is hardly heaven sent because it's so dull. Walked. Walked should not be talked about. Painfully boring. So we don't use boring verbs, we use powerful verbs. Roald Dahl did it aplenty in today's chapter of Fantastic Mr. Fox. I wonder if you can remember any of the verbs he used. Maybe you could press pause, go back to my short video, my reading video, and have another listen. Can you remember any? Well, he used yelled, there's a good powerful verb, prancing, dancing, sang, scrambled, I love that verb, teeming, cried, running, chasing, ordered, lapped. Fantastic! And that is what we are going to do today. We are going to write for action. We're going to write an action sequence. So, we'll use powerful verbs. We'll also use some of the same techniques that we used when creating our suspenseful pieces of writing. So, rhetorical questions, exclamations, and adverbs. Now, can you remember how to create an adverb? Take a look at these beautiful words behind me. Now, these are not adverbs. What are they? Sad, quick, sudden, happy, angry, careful and thoughtful. What type of words are they? Well done, Year 2. These are adjectives or describing words. How can I transform these words into adverbs? If you said we add ly to them, you're close. You're very close. In fact, you're almost entirely correct. However, there are exceptions to your rule. We do add the suffix ly to most of the words on this board, but we don't add the ly to all of the words. So, let's start with the word sad. Sad, yes, we can just add ly. And our adjective becomes the adverb sadly. Sadly, Mr. Sorrel waved goodbye to his wife as she went on an epic adventure without him. Quick. Yes, we can add ly. And our adjective quick becomes the adverb quickly. Quickly. Mr. Sorrell typed on his computer. Sudden. This is a great adverb and we use it a lot. We use it in suspense and we use it in our action pieces. Suddenly. Brilliant. We have a problem. Happy, I cannot add the suffix ly without changing the root word first. So happy is my root word. It needs to change before I can add ly. How will I change it? Well done, year 2. If you remembered that we drop the y and we add an I. Happily. Happily. There we go, there's the adverb. Happily, Mr. Sorrell waved at his class. Hello. Okay, angry. Ooh, it ends in a Y. What do? We drop the Y, we add an I. Careful. Do I just add a Y? Because there's already an L there. No, we don't. We do the same as we did with sad, quick and sudden. We add ly. That means that in the word carefully, there are actually dos L's. There were 2 L's. Same with thoughtful. We add the L and the Y. We have a double L. Thoughtfully. Great adverbs. So, writing for action. We're going to create an action sequence today using adverbs, using those powerful verbs. Definitely not said, went, walked, or any boring verbs. They're all going to be exciting verbs today. Rhetorical questions, exclamations, short sentences. Let's have a go, year 2. So, I have begun my writing for action with frantically. Mr. Fox and the 4 small foxes went deeper underground. There are at least a couple of issues with that piece of writing. First of all, I've started with an adverb, which is brilliant, because it's a fronted adverbial. Whenever we take an adverb, like an ly word, and place it at the beginning of a sentence, it becomes a fronted adverbial. And I absolutely, most positively encourage you to use fronted adverbials in your work. They are fantastic. But if you're going to use a fronted adverbial, you must use a comma after the fronted adverbial. So I am going to put my comma in right there. Frantically, comma. Mr. Fox and the 4 small foxes went deeper underground. Can you spot the other problem? Where else did I go wrong with that first sentence? Well done, year 2. Yes, I used a boring verb. I used the verb went. And went is hardly heaven sent. It's not very good. Let's improve it. What did they do? They didn't just go. They dug. Dug is okay. Dug could be a powerful verb. They rummaged. They shoveled. Oh, shoveled is nice. Although they didn't actually use shovels. They zoomed. They buried. Oh, buried. Deeper underground would be a good powerful verb. I'm going to use buried. They began to breathe quicker and quicker. It's not very exciting, is it? They panted and they gasped for air. That's exciting. Those are powerful verbs. Let's use them. Okay, what did Mr. Fox do to encourage the 4 small foxes? He yelled, he screamed, he shouted, he chanted, he boomed. But how did he boom? Let's use an adverb. Let's take an adjective and add the suffix ly. He boomed loudly. He boomed loudly. Mr. Fox boomed loudly. Oh, this is speech. Think back to our lesson yesterday about including inverted commas. Before the inverted commas, we have a comma. Then we have a 66, followed by a capital letter. Then we must keep our exclamation mark nice and warm on the inside of our inverted commas, followed by a 99. Mr. Fox boomed loudly, "Keep going!" Okay, what can my next sentence be? What have I not used? Well, I've used powerful verbs. I've got buried, and I've got gasped, panted, boomed. I've got adverbs. I've used the adverb loudly and frantically. I have used exclamation marks. I've used short sentences. Perhaps I could include a question. Where were they going? Mr. Fox knows, but the four small foxes have no idea. It's a question, so what must it end with? Well done, year 2. A question mark. Why do we use rhetorical questions in our writing? Yes, because they draw the reader in. They keep the reader engaged and excited. This is great writing for action. I'm going to write one more sentence and then it's up to you. Okay, I'm going to start with a fronted adverbial. I'm going to use the fronted adverbial desperately. So I'll take the adjective desperate and I'll add ly to it. Desperately. Because it's an adverb at the beginning of a sentence, it's a fronted adverbial and therefore it needs a comma. Desperately, the four small foxes. Maybe I could use the verb looked. No, it's boring, it's dull, it's unimaginative. Let's use an exciting verb. They didn't just look, they searched, they scanned, they scoured the land for clues as to where they were going. Desperately, the four small foxes scoured. Oh dear, year 2, I've run out of space. I could keep writing, but sadly, and there's an adverb, sadly, I can't continue. Not unless I was to rub this out and start again. Thank you so much, year 2, for joining me for today's video. Now that you've seen how to write for action, I'd like you to have a go. Have a go at writing the action that takes place in chapter 10 of Fantastic Mr. Fox. Once you've had a go, don't forget to send it to me. I cannot wait to see your work. In the meantime, stay safe, take care, and I will see you later. Bye bye, year 2.